What's up, everybody? Scott Lenard back here by myself again. My dad's at work. We are here to do some more college football and NFL predictions for this season, so let's get into those right now. First game out, Syracuse and Pitt tonight, actually. I will say Pitt at home. I think Pitt's been playing very well recently. So I'm going to take Pitt at home to get it done against Syracuse on tonight. Next up, Boise State going into Allegiant Stadium to take on UNLV. Should be a good game. But I'm going to take Boise on the road. I think Boise State finds a way to get the win on the road and continues their track to get into the college football playoff this year. So I'll take Boise on the road over UNLV. Now into the Saturday games. First game out, UCF and BYU here at FBC Mortgage Stadium. I'm going to take UCF to find a way to win this game. I think I were upset about last week. I think we're going to bounce back after a really tough loss last week. I think we find a way to win this game at home over BYU. Next up, Nebraska going on the road to Ohio State. I'm going to take Ohio State here at home. I think Ohio State's been the better team all season. So I'll take Ohio State at home over Nebraska. Next up, Notre Dame in MetLife Stadium to take on Navy. I will go with the Irish. I think Notre Dame's going to potentially put an end to Navy's hopes of making the college football playoff this year. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame to get it done in MetLife Stadium against Navy. Next up, Washington on the road at Indy. Never mind. We'll be coming back to this game later. People, don't worry about that. Next up, Oklahoma and Ole Miss. I will take Ole Miss. Oklahoma looked really bad last week against South Carolina, so I'm going to take Ole Miss at home over Oklahoma. Next up, Illinois taking on number one Oregon, the new number one team in the country. I'm going to go with Dylan Gabriel and Oregon. I think the Ducks have been playing very well recently, so I'm going to take Oregon at home to get it done over Illinois. Next up, number 21 Missouri heading in to Tuscaloosa to take on number 15 Alabama. I'm going to go with the Tide to get the win here. I think Alabama knows they got to win out to at least have a chance to make the college football playoff this year. So I'm going to take Alabama at home over Mizzou. Next up, Texas coming off a very bad loss last week, going into Nashville to take on number 25 Vandy. Welcome back to the top 25 Vandy, but it's only going to last a week. I'll take a very angry Texas team to get back on track this week. So I'll take Texas on the road to get it done in Nashville against Vandy. Next up, Florida State heading into Hard Rock Stadium to take on Miami. This used to be one of the best games of the year, but not anymore. I'll take Miami at home big. I think Miami's going to absolutely destroy Florida State here. I'll take Miami at home over Florida State. Next up, number 3 Penn State heading into Madison to take on Wisconsin. I'm going to go with Drew Aller and Penn State. I think Penn State's finally showing people that they can win when it matters. So I'm going to go with Penn State on the road to get it done over Wisconsin. Next up, Kansas State, LSU heading into Texas and Kyle Field to take on Texas A&M. I'm going to go with LSU. I think LSU's looked very good this year. Tough game on the road, but I'm actually going to go with A&M. I think A&M at home field advantage makes a difference in this game. I'm going to go with Texas A&M at home over LSU. Next up, Kansas heading in to Bill Snyder Field, Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan to take on Kansas State. I'm going to go with K-State. I think Kansas State's probably one of the most consistent teams in the Big 12 this year. So I'll go with Kansas State at home over Kansas. Next up, number 22 SMU heading into Durham, North Carolina to take on Duke. I'm going to go with SMU though. I think SMU is a little bit better than Duke is right now, so I'll take SMU on the road over Duke. And back to the game I was thinking about talking about a minute ago, but I remembered something. So there'll be Washington heading into Bloomington, Indiana to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. College game day will be here. We'll be there tomorrow, Saturday morning. 65 degrees on Saturday in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm going to go with the Hoosiers to find a way to get a win here. I know their quarterback's hurt, But I'm going to go with Indiana to find a way to get a win here at home over Washington. And let me just check here. Yep. One more game for college football this week is it'll be Auburn heading into Lexington and Kroger Field to take on Kentucky. I'm going to go with Kentucky to bounce back this week. I think Kentucky's had a really bad game last week against Florida, but I think they bounce back this week. I'm going to go with Kentucky to bounce back and get a win at home over Auburn. And now into the NFL games for the weekend. Really bad weekend of NFL games for me last week. First game out, the Minnesota Vikings heading into LA and SoFi Stadium to take on Matt Stafford and the Rams. Closer game than people think here tonight, but I'm going to take Minnesota on the road. I think the Vikings are going to bounce back after getting their first loss of the season last week, so I'll take the Vikings on the road to find a way to get a win here in SoFi against the Rams. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons heading into Tampa and Raymond James Stadium to take on the Bucs. Let the pain and suffering begin. I'm going to take the Falcons on the road. I think the Bucs are not good right now. We're in for a very rough next 3 weeks, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I'll take Atlanta on the road to find a way to get a win here on the road in Tampa and probably end our season. So I'll take the Falcons on the road to get it done over the Bucs. Next up, the Eagles heading into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to get the win here. I think the Bengals have been playing much better recently. I know the Bengals are winless at home this year, but I think they get their first win of the season at home this week, so I'll take the Bengals at home over the Eagles. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens heading into Cleveland to take on Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns. I'll go with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to get the win here. I think the Ravens are probably the second best team in the AFC right now. So I'm going to go with Baltimore to get the win out on the road in Cleveland against the Browns. Next up, the Tennessee Titans heading into Detroit to take on the Lions. I will go with Jared Goff and the Lions. I think the Lions have been playing excellent football all season. So I'm going to go with the Lions to get the win here at home over the Titans. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals heading into Hard Rock Stadium to take on the Miami Dolphins. Welcome back to it this week, but I think it's going to matter this week. I'll take Miami on the road. I'll take Miami at home to get it done over Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Next up, Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets heading into New England to take on the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets to get the win here. I think the Patriots are in for a very rough season. Drake May does not look fantastic, so I'm going to take the Jets to get it done on the road in Gillette against the Patriots. Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Green Bay Packers at Everbank Field. I'm going to go with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers to continue their win streak. I'm going to go with Jordan Love and the Packers to get the win here on the road in Jacksonville against the Jags. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts heading into NRG Stadium to take on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. I'm going to go with the Texans to get the win here. I think the Texans have been playing very well recently. So I'm going to go with the Texans to get the win here at home over the Colts. Next up, the New Orleans Saints heading into LA and SoFi to take on the Chargers. Give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers to bounce back after a very rough loss on Monday night against Arizona. So I'm going to go with the Chargers to bounce back at home and get a win over the Saints. Next up, the Buffalo Bills heading into Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Should be a great game here. I'm going to go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to get the win here. I think the Bills are a little bit better than the Seahawks are right now, so I'm going to go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to get the win here at home on the road in Seattle against the Seahawks. Next up, the Carolina Panthers heading into Denver to take on Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Bryce Young back as starting quarterback this week. I'm going to go with Bo Nix in the Denver Broncos to get the win here at home. I think Bo's been playing decent this year. So I'll go with Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos to get the win here at home over the Panthers. Next up, the last undefeated team in the NFL, the Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, with a new weapon in DeAndre Hopkins this week as they head into Allegiant Stadium to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win here. I think the Chiefs are going to look much better now offensively with DeAndre Hopkins now as their number one receiver. So I will take Kansas City to get the win here on the road in Allegiant Stadium against the Raiders. Next up, the Chicago Bears going in to Landover, Maryland to take on the Washington Commanders. Should be an excellent game here, but I'm going to take the Bears on the road. I think no Jaden Daniels this week is going to hurt the Commanders. So I'm going to go with Caleb Williams and the Bears to get the win here on the road. Caleb Williams gets his first win away from Soldier Field this week, and they get a win at home on the road in Washington against the Commanders. Next up, Sunday Night Football, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys heading into San Francisco to take on the Niners. I'll go with Dallas to get the win here. I think Dallas has been playing very well on the road this year, and the 49ers are banged up everywhere, so I'm going to take Dallas to find a way to get a win on the road over the Niners. Now into Monday Night Football, as it'll be Danny Dimes and the New York Football Giants heading into Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers at home. I think the Steelers looked very good on Sunday night against the Jets with Russell Wilson. So I will go with the Steelers to get the win at home over the Giants. And that will do it for this episode of Scott Spring Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back here next week with some more college football and NFL predictions. And I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott Spring Sports. See you later, guys.